Today's Supreme Court order in the Pegasus phone hacking charges is a landmark one. In a bench led by the Chief Justice, they outlined in that order why the Supreme Court was compelled to order the Pegasus probe. The Supreme Court said a vague denial by the centre was not sufficient, that they had given ample opportunity to the centre to order an inquiry, saying the entire citizenry is affected by such allegations because of the potential chilling effect. They added that the right to privacy and the freedom of speech was allegedly impacted, and allegations that centre states are also possibly linked to this, and the possibility that some foreign authority or entity involved in placing citizens under surveillance. Also, the Supreme Court made important points, and these are crucial, on privacy and citizen privacy especially. The Supreme Court order also says, if we go into it in detail, that the right to privacy is as sacrosanct, inalienable to human dignity. They added that the right to privacy is not absolute, but any restrictions imposed must necessarily pass constitutional scrutiny. The Chief Justice-led bench added that the entire lives of individuals are stored in the cloud or in a digital dossier, adding that members of a civilized democratic society have a reasonable expectation of privacy, and privacy is not the singular concern of journalists or social activists, but of every citizen. Also, and this is very important because remember the centre had argued that this will impact national security. A probe into this, the Supreme Court said there is no free pass over the spectre of national security, saying that the state does not get a free pass every time this is raised. National security cannot be the bugbear that the judiciary shies away from by virtue of its mere mentioning, adding that the court should be circumspect, but however there is no omnibus prohibition which can be called for against judicial review. Also, they pointed out that what the impact this would have on the free press, saying that it is undeniable that surveillance and the knowledge that one is under the threat of being spied on might result in self-censorship. This is of particular concern when it relates to the freedom of the press, which is an important pillar of democracy. Such a chilling effect on the freedom of speech is an assault on the vital public watchdog role of the press, which may undermine the ability of the press to provide accurate and reliable information. A landmark order there. And politically, there has been an opposition coming together, with Rahul Gandhi addressing a press conference saying that only two men could have ordered this phone hacking, and that's either the Prime Minister or the Home Minister, saying the Supreme Court judgment today showed that the Prime Minister is not above institutions. The Trinamool Congress, the left, all welcomed the Supreme Court judgment. Rahul Gandhi saying he would raise it in Parliament as well. Meanwhile, separately, the Home Minister has said that Prime Minister Modi is the best Prime Minister of independent India. The BJP just issued one statement on the Pegasus judgment today, saying that they welcomed it.
It is a way basically to control the politics of the country, right? Not allowing the democratic process to work. ये Pegasus जो है, ये या Prime Minister ने order किया है, या फिर Home Minister ने order किया है. ये कोई दूसरा व्यक्ति order नहीं कर सकता है. और अगर प्रधानमंत्री ने हमारे ही देश पर किसी और देश से मिलकर आक्रमण किया है, तो फिर इस पे प्रधानमंत्री की व्यू हम सुनना चाहते हैं. ही इज नॉट अबव द नेशन, ही इज नॉट अबव द इंस्टीट्यूशंस.
सरकार ने जो एफिडेविट दिया था उसमें स्पष्ट रूप से सरकार ने कहा है कि हम निवेदन करते हैं कोर्ट से कि जो फॉल्स नरेटिव कुछ वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट के ग्रुप के लोग पेगासस मामले में पूरे देश में बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उस नरेटिव को ध्वस्त करने के लिए यह आवश्यक है कि एक एक्सपर्ट्स की कमिटी गठित की जाए, एक एक्सपर्ट्स की कमिटी बनाई जाए. और आज कोर्ट ने एक्सपर्ट्स की कमिटी बनाई है. जो सरकार ने अपने एफिडेविट में कहा था, जो सरकार ने अपने एफिडेविट में प्रतिपादित किया था, वही हुआ है.
भले अपने आप को विनम्रता से प्रधान सेवक मानते, उनकी मान्यता है, बिलीफ है, मगर मैं कह सकता हूं कि सफल से सफल प्रधानमंत्री अगर कोई है आजादी के बाद तो श्री नरेंद्र मोदी है.
Well, moving to the other big headline, cases up slightly from yesterday, but they are still at an 8-month low, 13,451 cases in the last 24 hours. Deaths have gone down. They're at 585. The vaccinations today as of 7 o'clock was over 45 lakhs. The tests are up as well, but the daily positivity rate is just above 1%. So that's less than 2% for the last 23 days. And that's a good number. So the Delhi government has today announced that all schools in Delhi of all classes, that includes as young as KG, will open from Monday. This will be school for all, the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, but only 50% capacity in classes, and also any child, any parent who wants their child to stay at home will be given the option of online classes. Sonakshi has this report.
The decision to open schools in Delhi in a full-fledged manner from the 1st of November, which is the coming Monday, has left many parents and students wondering what should be the way ahead. While some agree that yes, they should go back to the schools, some say that this is not the right timing given festive season is still on in the country, and that experts believe that post this festive season cases might rise. Listen in to what some parents and students told us about the schools reopening in the national capital.
काफी समय से हम देख रहे हैं कि कोविड के टाइम से स्कूल बंद है, बच्चों के फ्यूचर पे तो फर्क पड़ा ही है। जैसे अभी न्यूज़ आई कि मंडे से खुलने वाले हैं, तो मेरी यही रहेगी कि स्कूल खुलने चाहिए पर पूरे प्रिकॉशंस के साथ।
जो स्कूल खुल रहे हैं उसके लिए मैं भी एग्री नहीं हूँ कि मैं अपने बच्चे को स्कूल भेजूँ, क्योंकि अभी ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं कोविड में सुरक्षा जो है, तो मैं नहीं चाहूँगा कि मैं अपने बच्चे को भेजूँ, और शायद दूसरों को भी मैं थोड़ा बोलूँगा कि अगर आप बच्चे को स्कूल भेजना चाहते हैं तो प्लीज़ थोड़ा सा आप सोचिए इस बारे में कि आप भेजने लायक है या नहीं बच्चे को।
And I feel it's a bit rushed. I feel the decision was a bit frantic, and just before boards, and more importantly just before Diwali, when I feel the cases will rise a bit, there'll be a spike followed by the boards.
I am just not comfortable for the main reason because I was not comfortable till the time I was vaccinated. I didn't step out, I didn't meet people.
But remember, these are private school parents where attendance has been less for senior classes than government schools, and many government school parents have actually written to the Delhi government asking for schools to open again because they don't have access to online devices or even Wi-Fi to be able to study from home. Meanwhile, the latest from the Bombay High Court, where once again no decision on bail for Aryan Khan and the co-accused. Let's go across to Saurabh. Saurabh, now this seems especially ironic considering that just yesterday the same court which denied Aryan Khan bail had given two other people bail who were actually found in possession of drugs according to the NCB.
Absolutely, and that was also raised in the arguments today. And most importantly, what was raised in the arguments is perhaps the point that former Attorney General of India, Mukul Rohatgi, made, saying that if the NCB, the Narcotics Control Bureau, has not mentioned in its memo, arrest memo or Panchnama that it had seized a phone or had taken a phone in the first place, then how is it making WhatsApp chats a ground for arrest? Where did these chats come from? Did the NCB mislead the court? That's a question that Mukul Rohatgi raised, saying that it's a violation of Article 22 of the Constitution of India, and saying that what you've violated the Constitution or infirmity of the Constitution cannot be remedied with a remand, basically saying that your remand can't make up for the mistake you made. So that's something that the NCB is going to reply to tomorrow, and the arguments will take place tomorrow right here at the Bombay High Court in courtroom number 28. Again, it will take place at 2:30 post-lunch.
They've already been in jail, in custody since the 3rd of October, so it's already over 25 days, nearly a month, with no possession of drugs, that he's still in jail. Meanwhile, let's go across the other big headlines. Well, this Saturday there's voting in 14 states in by-elections, mainly for assembly seats, but also for some Lok Sabha seats. Some of the key battles will be held in Bihar, where Nitish Kumar's nemesis Lalu Prasad Yadav is back on the campaign trail after years in jail.
Lalu Yadav back on a campaign trail for the first time since 2015, having been jailed and unwell for much of the time. The crowds cheering both him and his son Tejasvi, who led the party to an impressive performance in last year's assembly election. The RJD is now looking to wrest two by-poll seats, Tarapur and Kusheshwar Sthan, from Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's party, the JDU. Lalu hit back at charges made by Nitish Kumar, alleging that Lalu might could get him shot dead.
अगर चाहें तो गोली मरवा सकते और कुछ नहीं कर सकते, समझ गए ना?
ऐसे तो तेजस्वी यादव जी पूरा सब जगह घूम ही रहे हैं, उखाड़ के वही फेंक चुके हैं उनको, बाकी जो बचा है उसका हम विसर्जन कर देंगे। हमारी पार्टी बहुत मजबूत वोटों से जीतेगी।
But Lalu is also fighting against the Congress, one of his oldest allies. His dig at the Congress losing streak prompted a phone call from Sonia Gandhi.
सोनिया जी से बात चली कि हाल चाल क्या है, कैसे है, कहाँ है, हमका सब ठीक है। ऑल इंडिया पार्टी अपनी पार्टी है, बड़ा दल है, सभी लोगों को इकट्ठा करिए, सब पार्टी को, लाइक माइंडेड लोगों को इकट्ठा करके एक विकल्प मजबूत जल्दी बनाया जाए। मीटिंग बुलाइए, सब लोगों को मीटिंग बुलाइए।
Clearly, Lalu may not be keeping good health, but politically, he's fighting fit for friends and foes alike. With Manish Kumar, Usama Shah for NDTV.
So huge crowds there to welcome Lalu Prasad Yadav on bail from jail back on the campaign trail. Meanwhile, former Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh has announced that he will form a new political party ahead of elections early next year. He said the name and the symbol will be decided once the Election Commission gives a go-ahead, and that the new party will contest on all assembly seats in Punjab. He said more Congress MLAs would join him, but gave no evidence of that yet. However, he said that he would be looking at seat sharing with the BJP and will be meeting Home Minister Amit Shah tomorrow in Delhi regarding this. The Congress has attacked him for that statement.
He knows nothing. This fellow talks too much. Any akal kuch hai nahi enu. By the way, BJP nal gal nahi hoyi, leadership nal on this issue. Neither on the Akalis. I have not talked to Mr. Tinsa. I have not talked to Mr. Amit Shah on the issue of this. But I will. And because it's a very simple thing. When you go into battle, you have to go in force. Unless you are strong, you can't fight. And therefore, I want to be strong to fight with both the Congress and the Akali Dal and the Aam Aadmi. And I will talk to for seat adjustments to the BJP, and I will also talk to Mr. Tinsa, and we will put up a united front to defeat these parties.
Meanwhile, Akhilesh Yadav also has a new alliance as he began his campaign in East UP today, also with a new slogan taken from Mamta's Khela Hobe.
Samajwadi Party leader and former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav, hit out at the ruling BJP over the rising fuel prices and the farmers' issue. In a rally, he reminded people in his speech about the BJP's promises.
जब पीला और लाल एक हो गया, तो दिल्ली और लखनऊ में लाल पीला कौन हो रहा है?
Samajwadi Party's alliance partner O.P. Rajbhar of the Suhail Dev Bharatiya Samaj Party also hit out at the BJP while addressing the rally in Bhojpuri.
अब जितना भारतीय जनता पार्टी का नेता गांव में आवे तो उनसे पूछा कि जाए अपने नेता से पहले महंगाई कम करा के आवा तब वोट का बात करा.
Well, moving now to our special report from Tripura, where a mosque door was damaged and Muslim shops were burnt, apparently after a VHP procession which said there must be retaliation for the violence against minorities in Bangladesh. Police say the situation is now under control, but the opposition is asking why there hasn't been a crackdown on the VHP which was behind this rally and the people who sparked this violence.
Flames of communal violence singeing BJP-ruled Tripura, largely unfamiliar with such tensions. Shops near a mosque set ablaze at Pani Sagar in North Tripura. The mosque itself vandalized, say some. Police say partially damaged. This VHP procession against attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh triggered the violence, say locals. The slogans shouted were provocative and targeted Muslims. Police confirmed the right-wing march, but held, they say, without permission.
No, we are not giving permission. See, what happens is, we are not everywhere on the ground. If somebody takes out a rally of 30-40%, so by the time we get to know and then we mobilize and go there and disperse them, they already covered some distance.
BJP wants to polarize voters before the 2023 Assembly polls and municipal elections in November, say opposition parties.
This is communal tension that's politically motivated. The government is failing on account of law and order, or the government wants it to happen. There can be no third explanation. Clearly a ploy to basically polarize the election.
Why polarize when Tripura has less than 10% Muslims, says the BJP. It blames CPM and TMC for the trouble. VHP says its protests will continue.
बांग्लादेश की घटना जो घटी है वहाँ पर बांग्लादेश में, तो इसके बाद सीपीएम सक्रिय हुए हैं, साथ ही में यहाँ पर तृणमूल भी आए हुए हैं, जो शांति का माहौल है वहाँ पर उसको नष्ट करने के लिए कुछ तत्व तो सक्रिय हैं.
The police have fanned out to contain the violence. Chief Minister Biplab Deb is silent on the matter. With Ratnadeep Chaudhary, Monideepa Banerjee, NDTV.
Terrible every day to see fresh reports of communal tension in different parts of India.